wali munsi muno mulongofu kubanga fenna twayonona wabula Kristo eyatulongosa n'omusaayi gwe omulokozi mumusaayi munabe ogunaza mwe buli kibi mwetemuli tukola wataliye munabe mumusaayi gwa Yesu omusaayi gwa Yesu gubanaza nnyo abagwagwa ab'omu mwoyo.
Abooluganda abalungi abatuwuliriza era nammwe abatugoberera tuli basanyufu nnyo ak'ensuso okubanga muwayo akadde kammwe ne mutuwuliriza ne mulaba programu zonna ze tubatuusaako n'olunaku olwaleero tugguse ate okubaako n'enteekateeka endala gye tubatuusaako nga bwe mukimanyidde nti ku lunaku olwa Friday tuba ne topic gye tugenda okubaganyaako ebirowoozo era olunaku olwaleero mpise n'abooluganda abagenda okubanga batuyamba okuwayawayamu ku mutwe gw'olaba ogwo oguyita ku screen yo ate twongere okwekenneenya kiki ekireeta obulwadde ogwo gwe mutwe gwe tugenda okubanga tukubaganyako ebirowoozo mu ddakiika tezigenda kubeera nnyingi nkusaba gwe yakatwegattako osobole okubanga teeka mu komenti ekibuuzo kyonna ky'ogenda okufuna bw'obanga ofunye ekibuuzo mu mboozi gye tugenda okuba nga tukubaganyako ebirowoozo olunaku olwaleero genda mu comment section oteekemu ekibuuzo ekyo osobola okuteekamu okuwabula ssaako n'ekintu kyonna ky'oteesa kakano ngenda sooka mbanjulire ate abantu b'entambudde nabo bw'otyo osobole okubanga obategeera nga tebannaba kubanga batutuusaako ate ebyo bye baatuteeketeekedde nze kamwa koogera era omwanjuzi nze Jafet Itangishatse ngenda kubanga ntandika ne saidi eno ate muganda wange anekaanekanye wano agenda kuba atubuulira erinnya omulabye mulungi n'omuwuliza ate batutegeere
weewaawo ssebo neyanziza olwakaseera kompadde
ojja twongera ku ddoboozi
weewaawo ssebo neyanziza olwakaseera kompadde kokweyaniriza ku TV
ku channel yaffe
eno kumanya babita Kirabo Abraham
omukulu erinnya lye abeera Kirabo Abraham twayise ne muganda waffe nno nga naye awuliriza nnyo oba asingako essa lulimi Lungereza era mujja kunzikiriza abalabi muteere mu Lungereza ate bwetyo tugende ne sayidi eri ate oli yalina ekyenjawulo ayogera lulimi Lufumbira oba luyite Olunyarwanda bw'atyo nno my brother, it's a pleasure having you here again on this platform. Being a Friday, we have a topical discussion that is interesting. So you're most welcome. Please, we are introducing ourselves to our DSC viewers so that they get to know us for those that are new on this platform. Dearest viewer, for those that have been here for quite some time, you're well conversant with him. You've seen him several times presenting here. But for the new subscribers and the new viewers, let him introduce himself.
Thank you, moderator, for giving me this chance.
You're most welcome.
Once again, it's a pleasure and I'm thankful. I'm exceedingly humbled to be hosted by you.
Thank you.
And I'm glad that by the end of the discussion or the conversation we are having here, at least the viewers and the listeners will have gained much.
Indeed.
Thank you.
Thank
My name
you.
is Vian Aishaki once again.
His name is Vian Aishaki once again. It's a pleasure. We're so much humbled to have you again. Muganda waffe ali ku luyi luli ate ye nja kumuteera mu lulimi luli Olunyarwanda baluyita Olufumbira bw'atyo nno n'omuwuliza omulungi atulaba ng'olulimi lwasinga okutegeera asobole okubanga naye aganyirwa mu nteekateeka ey'olunaku olwaleero. Mwenzi atatola kwakiriye ndumva atali bwo bwa mbere dukoze ikiganiro ariko igihe cyose uduha umwanya ni ukuri turanezeerwa cyane. Dushatse kubanza kwibwirana mu buryo bwo kumenyana kugira ngo abantu bashyashya batari bakubona bahisemo gukurikira ikiganiro cy'uyu munsi ngo baze kumenya uwo barimo baganira nawe. Ubwo ni izina ndetse yenda n'akazi muri uyu murimo tugakomezanya tuziranye.
Murakoze cyane umuyobozi. Jewe amazina nitwa Harindintwari Albert. Rero nkaba ndi umubwiriza butumwa bwiza kwivugurura n'ubugorozi. Nkaba nishimiye kubana namwe ndetse n'abaduteza amatwi n'abatureba mwese twishimiye kubana namwe muri iki kiganiro. Murakoze cyane.
Murakoze cyane. Ni karibu nyinshi turanezerwa cyane igihe cyose utanga umwanya wo kuza kugira ikiganiro dutanga kugira ngo abadukurikirane bashobore kuba basobanukirwa ku nyingo runaka. Rimwe hari ahantu nsomye ijambo ryanejeje ngo isi irazimira kubwo kutamenya. Nubwo narisomye muri urwo rurimi ariko ndumva ruko nagerageza kubisobanura. Ariko kumenyesha isi ni ikintu cy'ingenzi cyane. Tugiye rero kuba tujya mu kiganiro ariko twajya mu kiganiro turi banze gusenga. Ndowoza umulabo mulungi nkomye wo kwa bobwe ngati tunaba kugenda mu mboze no ate leka tusabe ate muganda waffe asolo kubanga tuwa esala mukuru kirabo tuloke tugende mu maso.
Wow. Katwebaze kitafu omwagalwa tukwebaza olw'akaseera kano kubanga otukkiriza okubanga tukyali balamu ekitiibwa ntendo bidde gy'oli.
Amen.
Kkiriza byonna ebigenda okwogerebwa wano abatuwuliriza abatulaba bonna obawe okubiwuliriza ate biwonye emitima gyabwe ebyo tubyebaliza ekisa kyo n'okwagala kwo. Beera wamu naffe lekoma omutukuvu atuluŋŋamye tuleme okwogera ebyaffe wabula ebyo bibeere mu ffe ku bwa Yesu Kristo omulokozi waffe.
Amen. Wow. Amukulikire ddala balaba balungi mu program mu introduction ate kusaawe eno nkusuubiza nti ate tusimbudde okubanga tugenda ate ku kinyusi kyolaba ng'omutwe ogamba nti ensibuko y'endwadde. Ensibuko y'endwadde. Ndowooza tugenda kunnyonnyoka omulaba mulungi ebweru wano oba naawe w'oli ku muliraano waliwo abantu bangi abalwadde. Amalwaliro gajjudde abantu nga balwadde. Waliwo abali mu malwaliro ag'ebbeeyi abo bo bali mu kiraasi yaabwe balina n'endwadde ez'ebbeeyi. Waliwo n'abalala abali mu malwaliro abawejjere be tuyita bamufunampola nga bali mu malwaliro gano agaffe aga gavumenti bwe batyo. Kale waliwo n'abali ewaka abatalina ngeri gye batuuka mu malwaliro. Okutwaliza wamu nali nsoma mu alipoota ey'ekitongole ekivunaanyizibwa ku bulwadde kye bayita World Health Organization nga bagamba nti ensi yonna ebitundu 80 ku 100 balwadde, nti wabula abatono be bamanyi nti balwadde be bali mu malwaliro, nti bw'otunamu bw'etoola mu nsi abantu bangi obulwadde abamu batambula nabwo, abalala bo balwala dda tebamanyi, abalala bali mu malwaliro bali bubi. Twagadde okunnyonnyoka omulabo omulungi ayagala okumanya endwadde ziva ku ki. Ndowooza kambize mulimu olulala omuntu ategeere bulungi. Muri iyi si abantu bararwaye ku buryo urebye buli muntu wese umva taka udataka igifata ku mugongo, udataka umugongo ataka amaso, mbese abantu benshi bararwaye. Hari abari mu bitaro, hari abatari bajya mu bitaro, hari abadafite n'uburyo bwo kujya mu bitaro, hakaba hari n'abandi barwaye bari mu rugo batazi ko barwaye. Ibyo umushinga cyangwa se organization yitwa World Health Organization yavuze ko abantu benshi barwaye. Dushaka kumenya, reka nangiriye kuri wowe, mbese ni mpamvu ki ibi byose ugiye kubyitegereza ubona bikomoka ku cyako twajya yenda kuri urwo rwego twabanza kumenya indwara zo zatangiye ryari?
Murakoze cyane muyobozi wa gahunda. Mu by'ukuri na Bibiliya irabivuga, ivuga yuko isi yose irwaye uhereye mu bworo bw'ikirenge ukageza mu mutwe. Ubwo ni Yesaya igice cyawo cya mbere umurongo wa 5. Mu by'ukuri ijambo ry'Imana ryo ryabivuze ko isi yose irwaye. Impamvu harimo twe tureba abarwayi tugeze kwa muganga, ariko siko biri, kuko indwara zose siko ziryana. Wenda turi bubirebe nitwinjira imbere, ariko Bibiliya ivuga yuko isi yose irwaye uhereye mu bworo bw'ikirenge. Reka turisome inshuti muduteze amatwi, kugira ngo twumve neza uburyo cyangwa se dusobanukirwe uburyo isi yahuye n'ingorane ndetse n'igihe indwara zatangiriye. Ndagisubiza mbanje gusomera isomo. Ni Yesaya, igice cyaho ni icya mbere. Turasoma umurongo waho ni wa 5. Ni iki gitumye mushaka kugumya gukubitwa muzira gukabya ubugome? Umutwe wose urarwaye, umutima wose urarabye. Umurongo wa 6, uhereye mu bworo bw'ikirenge ukageza mu mutwe nta hazima. Iyo ni inyandiko idusobanura yuko ubu tuvugana isi yose irarwaye, ahubwo aho zatangiriye kuva mwene muntu yanyuranya n'Imana, kuva Adamu yakora icyaha, igihe umubano w'Imana n'umuntu igihe wahuye n'ingorane, igihe umuntu atahuza, umuntu akimara gukora icyaha, umuntu yahuye n'ingorane nyinshi harimo n'uburwayi. Ubwo kuva kuri icyo gihe indwara nubwo zitari zifite umuvuduko nk'izo turiho, ariko nimusoma neza ibitera indwara ku badukurikiranye, muzasanga kuva icyo gihe umuntu yanyuranye n'Imana hatangiye kuba ibibazo by'uburyo bwo kurya nabi, by'uburyo bwo ubutaka bwo kwangirika. Ibyo byose byatumye mwene muntu arya ibihuye ni ibibi, indwara zitangira ubwo, nubwo zazanye umuvuduko mu bihe byagiye bikurikiranye. Ariko nko mu gitabo cy'Itangiriro igice ni cya 3, turasoma nko ku murongo wa 16, handitse ijambo rikomeye. Haranditse ngo kandi Uwiteka Imana ibwira uwo mugore iti, kugwiza nzagwiza cyane umubabaro wawe ufite inda. Ubwo yabwiraga Adamu, Eva. Umubabaro nta muntu wababara atarwaye. Bishatse kuvuga ngo guhera kwa Adamu umuntu akinyuranye n'Imana naho uburwayi bwaturutse.
Indwara itangira kubaho uhereye kubabara. Ubwo muri make Imana irema umuntu na gahunda y'uko umuntu yajyaga kubabara. Umuntu ababara uko habayeho icyaha.
Iki cyari igihano. Ni ukuvuga ngo Adamu na Eva bagikora icyaha, Adamu yahawe icyo gihano, nacyo kitari cyiza kuko nta gihano kinejeje.
Turibuze kubigarukaho.
Ariko umubabaro n'uburwayi bwatangiriye
icyo gihe Adamu akimara gucumura. My brother, we are interested in knowing the source, where and actually when did diseases start. We find that in the hospitals we find many people that are sick. We find actually almost today, if you try to move around in every 1 kilometer, even sometimes find less than a kilometer, you'll find a medical center, a health facility, a hospital. So there is a question that we are so much interested today. We want to understand about the source of the disease. Why is the world suffering? You almost find that almost everyone is suffering. I was reading a certain report by World Health Organization that about 80% of people, if not 90%, are sick. Even though a few of them know that they are sick, but many people are sick. Then we want to know, when did these sicknesses begin?
Okay, thank you, our moderator.
Yes.
And dear viewers and listeners, we would like to take this golden opportunity to share with you and amongst ourselves as well that the origin of diseases or the sicknesses we are having all over the world, maybe for us who are here in Uganda, the sicknesses we are having, all the diseases we are having, might be somehow quite different from other countries. Maybe depending on what they eat and the climate nature over there. But when you reach everywhere, even if these European countries, there are hospitals there, so it means the sickness is still there.
Actually, in those countries, it seems their sickness or their diseases are much developed because they have developed facilities. So, meaning there are sick people there.
So it means it is worldwide.
Indeed.
Yeah, it is worldwide. And diseases started coming by the time when a human being who was created in God's image started diverting from the original plan of God. So when God was creating, he did not intend that his creatures, whom he created in his own image, should suffer. It was not his plan. If so, he wouldn't have created. So, if we read in Genesis chapter 3, it's where God cast them, three beings, Adam, Eve, and the serpent, from henceforth up to now. But then, as time went on, God still visited them, their posterity, the generation after Adam and Eve. So he still bade them that if you hearken unto me, if you hear my commandments, even these diseases that are coming to my enemies, because even God has enemies, people who work contrary to him are his enemies. So
repeat that statement. You said God has enemies.
God has enemies.
My dear viewer, you should critically understand this. He's saying God has enemies. I want my viewer to understand who are these enemies of God.
Thank you. First of all, as I said from the beginning, that God in his plan, when he was creating Adam in the Garden of Eve, he did not intend for his creature to suffer. If so, he wouldn't have done so. He would have remained in his heaven, and the earth would remain the way it is. God would not suffer for that. But he intended that this earth would be inhabited by the people who can follow his guideline. But when people came and started diverting God's plan,
doing contrary,
then they became his enemies.
Oh.
So, as we know, we may not take much time. I don't know whether we have enough time.
We do not.
We have Abel and Cain. These two, they are two
brothers.
But Cain decided to serve the devil, who is enemy of God. You well know that very story.
Yeah.
So this lineage of Abel, they just served God. So this lineage of Cain, they became enemy of that of Abel. So now when we read in the book of Deuteronomy chapter 28, again God is coming to his people. These are the Israelites now, the posterity of Adam, of Abraham, of Enoch. So those who are in their lineage. Then he started telling them from verse 1 that if you hearken unto me, all these blessings shall come unto you. When you dig, you harvest much, when something like that. But then when he reached on verse 15, he became... Anyway,
in Deuteronomy chapter 28, we are skipping to verse 15.
It's where our intention is.
Okay.
But for the interest of time,
for the Bible scholars.
For the Bible scholars, we read from verse 1. Verse 1 is listing the blessings that if they hearken unto him, the harvesting they will get. So verse 15 is coming the other side. But if now, let me read. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe, to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. So it means if you don't hearken what I'm telling you today, this is God speaking to them. The other blessings will turn into curses.
Okay.
So it means God in the Bible, we have guidelines how we should behave. How we can concrete, how we can cement our relationship with the God. So if we go contrary, then the blessings become curses.
So what we ought to receive as blessing, we receive them as curses if we choose to disobey God.
In fact, that's how it is. That's how the verse is.
I think we shall proceed. We shall proceed from there. But my dearest viewer and my dearest listener, according to Vian and according to the Bible, it is the origin of sin. Sin originated from disobeying or diverting from God's principles and the guidelines to their own principles or their own wish. Thank you, my brother. Thank you very much for that insight. I think we shall, by the time we leave this channel, or we finish this presentation, my dear viewer, you'll have understood what is the origin of sin and where do we run to get a remedy anyway to be healed. I think let's go ahead and know. Actually, but before we go much deeper into this, let us also hear from my brother so that also people understanding Uganda can benefit. Muganda wange nsanyusa okulaba. Tuba n'emboozi wano ku buli Friday mwe tukubaganyiza ebirowoozo ku mulamu ogw'enjawulo. Olwaleero mulamu oguli mu ddiiro kwe kunnyonnyoka ensibuko y'endwadde. Twagala okumanya, omulamu mulungi ayagala okumanya endwadde zino zo zivaawa. Anyway, naye nga tannamanya we ziva, zaatandika ddi?
Muganda wange neyanziza.
Ojja twongerako ku ddoboozi. Omulabi omulungi asobola okuba nga bw'alaba ate nga bw'awulira.
Weewaawo. Muganda wange neyanziza. Endwadde zino ngenda zoogerako mu ngeri bbiri.
Tuli ku zitandika ddi we twatandika nawo?
Wenjagala okugenda wennyini. Ekisooka zino endwadde nga mu Yesaya ekisooka chapter ey'omukaaga egamba kuva ku kigere okutuusa ku mutwe omuntu muki.
Yesaya chapter esooka
olunyiriri
olw'omukaaga
wagamba nti kuva ku kigere okutuusa ku mutwe omuntu mulwadde. Oba okuva ku mutwe okutuusa ku kigere omuntu mulwadde. Omuntu yatandika okulwala mu biseera nga tannaba kwonoona. Kubanga awo Setaani woba osomye mu lubereberye bulungi, Setaani ng'alumba Eva yamugamba ti singa olyako genda kufaana nga Katonda.
Ogenda
ate nga okulya mu ngeri endala kwe kutubeezaawo. Okulya kulimu emirundi ebiri, kukutta ate kukuwonya. Kati neera okulya Setaani kwe yakozesa kubanga omuntu yali wakubaawo ng'alya. So n'olwekyo omuntu we yamala okulya ekibi ne kijja mu ye. Naye kye kiyongedde okutta abantu essaawa zino nga kulya.
Okay. Kale omulamu mulungi ampuliriza. Tuli kwagala okumanya ensibuko y'endwadde era tujja tunakomekeza tujja kuba tumategedde wawe tuddukira okubanga tetufuna obujjanjabi oba okubanga tutereera. Tumaze okukizula nti ensi ndwadde. Okusinza ku muganda wange atunyonyola tulaga nti endwadde zaatandikira kuva ku Adamu ne Kaawa bwe baasalawo ne batanula ekigere ne balya ku muti Katonda gwe yali yabagaana. Bwe bamala ogulyako nga Setaani abafeze kuyite kufera
kulimba
ng'abalimbye ng'abalimbye nti bwe banaalya bajja kufaanana nga Katonda. Bakomekeza kye bagyemu kulwala. Kitegeeza obulwadde butandika Adamu ng'ayonoonye kuva dda kiseera kyadda nnyo. Kitegeeza ensi ewangaalidde mu bulwadde yadde olwaleero bo bukyusiza langi nti obwaleero bo bulwadde bukambwe nnyo. Ndowooza tujagendera ddala maaso awo twongere okuba nga tunyonyoka. Nzizeeko ewa muganda wange mulimi ate olulala olufumbira omuganda wange ekigera ky'ennimi zino kubanga buli muntu atulaba ate mu mboozi eno aganyulwamu. Gahunda y'okukolesha ennimi zitandukanye mwendata n'okugira ngo buli muntu wese udukurikiranye agire akoyunguka muri iki kiganiro kuko isi yumva indimi nyinshi nabo twazizana zose ariko yenda abenshi bagenda bunguka mu Kinyarwanda, mu Cyongereza no mu Kigande, cyane cyane ko turi no mu gihugu cy'Ubugande. Tugeze ku kagingo keza cyane tumaze kumenya ko indwara zatangiye Adamu amaze kuva kuri gahunda Imana yamuhaye yo kutarya kuri rya tunda, twakwibaza tuti se kuva kuri iyo gahunda gusa niyo byazanye indwara zavuye he?
Murakoze cyane.
Aho twatangiye aho niho zatangiriye, zizanwa n'iki none?
Bwa mbere nyirabayazana waho zaturutse ni ukutumvira Imana. Noneho uburyo ziza indwara, inshuti muduteze amatwi, indwara zituruka ahantu henshi, cyane cyane nyinshi zituruka mu kurya, kuko aho indwara zituruka amarembo ya mbere ya benshi ni ibyo turya. Kuko iyo urya ibintu bitari bizima indwara ziraza, iyo uzirya mu buryo butemewe indwara ziraza. Amasaha atemewe,
ikintu cya mbere,
kuko hari amasaha yagenewe kurya. Uriye 6 ku munsi ntiwabura indwara, kuko Imana yagennye ko umuntu agomba kurya inshuro 2. Icyo ni kimwe. Mbega inzira ya mbere ni ukurya. Ubwo kurya harimo ibyiciro byinshi. Uriye nijoro inyandiko wahita urwara.
Ndumva kugira ngo turi kuri akagingo ni ibiki bizana indwara, aho zaturutse. Mu ncamake dusobanurire yenda ku tuntu nka 3 cyangwa 4. Mu ncamake akambe tubonye ni ukurya ku masaha. Turibuze mu mwanya runaka turibuze kugira tuvuga kuri kamwe nuko umuntu yaba abigize, ariko dutondagure. Icyame ni amasaha,
tutaragera wenda ku masaha. Tuvuze ngo ni ukurya.
Icyame ni ukurya.
Ubwo tutaravuga amasaha, ibyo turya.
Icyambere ni ibyo turya. Icyo ni icyambere.
Uburyo ubwiza bwabyo n'urugero rwabyo,
ibyo turya
n'uburyo bihujwe ni byinshi. Kuko ibyo kurya hari ubwiza bwabyo n'urugero rwabyo n'amasaha yo kubirya. Ubwo ni ku biryo. Ntabwo turagera n'amasaha, ntabwo turagera uburyo bitera indwara nyine. N'inyifato y'uburyo uri kurya ni byinshi.
Mwere data na mushiki wagiye dukurikiranye, turi ku gakingo k'ingenzi cyane, utagombwa udakwiriye kwirengagiza, udakwiye gucikwa. Mwenda tudukurikira, niba hari uturimo wari urimo cyangwa se hari ukundi warimo wumva ari kucikwa, aho tugeze kuri iyi nsanganyamatsiko ntabwo ukwiriye kugenda, kuko turi kureba aho indwara ziva. Nuhasobanukirwa ntabwo uzongera kuzigira. Icyambe tubonye ko ibyo turya niyo nkomoko y'indwara cyane, bikaterwa n'urugero twabiriyemo.
Reka wenda nkagura ako kagingo ka mbere. Ku byo kurya, uriye indyo ikennye, kuko ushobora kurya ibiryo byinshi ndetse mu gihe, ariko iyo ndyo uriye ikaba ikennye, itujuje intungamubiri. Ubwo burwayi, ubwo ayo ni amarembo
ni irembo rya mbere ryo kurwara.
Ariko biciye mu kurya, kuko hari n'andi marembo menshi. Hari ingeso mbi,
indyo ikenye.
Ariko ubwo turacyari ku bijyanye no kurya.
Ndumva reka tube dushize aho ngaho mu cyongereza tukita koma. Sinzi uko mu Kinyarwanda bakita, ariko dushaka twakita kitso, tugarukiye aho kugira ngo n'abandi baze kunguka, ariye twaza kugaruka tugasanga bongeza barambiwe. My brother, the story is becoming so much interesting. My dearest viewer and my dearest listener are so much interested in knowing not only when did diseases start, but how do diseases attach our bodies? When actually does someone start getting the disease?
Okay, thank you, moderator.
Yes.
For this chance that you have given us. Diseases, like any other thing, as we said, they have a root cause. Disease cannot simply come. They have their origin. They have where they start from.
Mm.
And when you continue reading, they are like in Deuteronomy, chapter is 23, verses 14. It tells us, the Lord thy God walks in the midst of thy camp to deliver thee and to give up thine enemies before thee. Therefore shall thy camp be holy. In other translation, they say your camp have to be clean. And remember the time when Moses had just gone to pick other tablets, or the tablets of 10 commandments. He said that when Moses was about to come back, all Israelites, they had to clean themselves. What do I mean? When we talk of the cleanliness, this is in science of primary, even secondary, we call it hygiene. Hygiene. So it means if we are dirty, if we are not neat, even there are some diseases that can just come in from there.
If you're not neat.
If you are not neat.
Okay.
If you maybe you put a shirt you put a shirt for 3 weeks, minus even washing it. Some viewers maybe they may not consider it as unimportant. But God Himself is considering this point, that you have to be clean as well.
You have to be clean.
And when we take you back, however much we may not read it due to the interest of time, these people who were, these priests and priesthood, who were working in
the tabernacle
sanctuary, these people were commanded to cleanse themselves, to shave off their hair, to wash their clothes. So literally means that even the dirty, the dirt itself can even bring diseases.
So meaning many people out here are sick because of not being clean in one or the other.
Exactly. Maybe before I leave that moderator, you see that there's to some who are fan of these books, the Spirit of Proverbs book is called Ministry of Healing. Original page is 279, paragraph 2. It says, the necessity of the personal cleanliness was taught in the most impressive manner. Personal cleanliness. Yes. Was taught in the most impressive manner. Before gathering at Mount Sinai to listen to the proclamation of the law by voice of God, the people were required to wash both their persons, body, and their clothing. Literally means that taking a shower.
You have to take shower.
You have to take shower
to wash your clothes.
And after taking a shower, you have to put on clothing that are clean. You cannot take shower and you put on dirty clothes. And this is God speaking. This direction was enforced on pain of death. This direction was enforced on pain. It means like the one who was dirty, who did not accept or
you would be punished.
You would be punished even to death. No impurity was to be tolerated in the presence of God. Can you imagine?
No impurity.
No impurity would be tolerated in the presence of God. Even if we go to pray, but even God needs a cleanliness, needs tidiness. Okay. Irrespective of that. And I know the ones who are watching us, most of you are scholars and you like reading. One person, I think is American, is Dr. Pamplona Roger, said that let the food be our medicine and let our medicine be our food.
Yeah.
So when we are eating, let's first know that what are we eating? What benefit are we getting from what are we eating? Because if we are not serious enough, we may find that we are eating poison and our lifespan reduces because of what we are eating.
Because of what? So according to you, according to the writing, some disease come from dirt.
Exactly.
Because of personal cleanliness. Exactly. And when you talk about cleanliness, my dear viewer might think that we are only limited to we are talking about cleanliness, limiting it to showering and washing clothes. What about other cleanliness like cleaning the compound? Is that also part?
Exactly. My moderator, you are just bringing interesting topic within the topic. I don't know whether the time that our
It will not allow us.
production managers are having for
but
us,
when talk about cleanness, my dear listener, my dear viewer, where my brother shared that some diseases come because of lack of cleanliness. So you should be as clean as much as you can. He did mention, actually it is written, that during the Israelites, if you dared neglect the cleanliness, you'd be punished. And the penalty was death.
Yes, exactly.
So, my brother, I think from now onwards, if you try to adapt to cleanliness, wash your clothes, have a shower, wash your bed sheets and everything, we shall not mention them, but you know very well what cleanliness means. So, one of the root cause of diseases is lack of cleanliness. Secondly, is eating.
Yes.
You mentioned that improper eating.
Improper eating.
We shall dive deep into that after my brother submitting his submission in Uganda. Muganda nge tubulire endwadde zino zetulaba ezefudde ez'amaanyi zifuuse actually mu Luganda zifuuse za jjenjeero nti buli wamu ozisangawo abantu balwadde zivaawa.
Muganda wange olwaleka nsemberera akazindaalo kano ekyamazima amatuufu ngenda kwogera ku bintu bibiri bino. Ekisooka amaddu gaguza omubiri.
Amaki?
Amaddu gagula omubiri gw'omuntu. Kubanga ekyokulabirako omuntu ayinza otuuka mu katale n'alaba ennyaanya mu Luganda baazikazaako faaji n'agyegomba olw'okuba alabye ya layisi n'asalawo agigule aleke ennungi ez'olukumi agule eza faaji ez'ebiri.
N'agula eza layisi.
N'agula eza layisi.
Ng'alese ez'ebbeeyi.
Alese ez'ebbeeyi olukumi.
N'olwo baba alina ensimbi ntono.
Muganda wange bagamba obulamu bwe bugagga.
Okay. Genda maaso.
Obulamu bwe bugagga. We tudda ku ekyo mbasigenda kimanyi naye kanjogere ku bino ebiri mbadde ngamba. Amaddu galetedde omuntu okwagala okukola omubiri gwe bitagasa mubiri gwe. Amaddu galetedde omuntu okwagala okukola ebintu bitagasa mubiri gwe. Batya. Bano abantu abadonatinga omusaayi. Womubuuza ku lwaki wadonatinze omusaayi. Ayinza okuddamu nti munnaaye badde bagaba kasooda. Kwegamba ensi ndwadde be bajjamu abantu abaagala okubaako we batuukirawo mu bulwadde. Olw'okuba nti yalabye kasooda nti munaye jjangu tukujjaga ekikopo kimu eky'omusaayi tugenda kuwa kasooda n'ayangu adduke agenda afune chemicals.
Kale naye twagala okulaba kubanga abantu bangi bali ebweru wano nga baagala omusaayi ate nga tebagulina. Ate okuba tetulina kyuma kikola musaayi weekanga tulina ogujja kuba naffe abagulina. So oba bakutwadde kasooda oba tebakatuwadde tulina okutaasa obulamu. Omulamu mulungi ampuliriza bw'oba banga abasawo bakugambye nti munnange osobola ogaba omusaayi n'otuuka we bagugabira nga kituufu ogulina nga basawo bagambye osobola ogugaba osobola okutaasa obulamu. Twagala tulabe endwadde zivaawa. Endwadde abantu bano abalwadde abangi bavudde ku kibalwale.
Endwadde zino nga nsoma mu kino ekigambo ekiri mu Bakolinso ekisooka 6 olunyiriri olw'12 bagamba bati ngenda kusomayo mu lulimi olwagala okugwako okuva muganda wange lugambe buti someone will say I am allowed to do anything yes but not anything is good for you. Omuntu omu asogamba nti nzikirizibwa okukola buli kimu kyenjagala naye ekyamazima oba oli awo naye si buli kimu nti kigwanidde okuba ekirungi gy'oli.
Si buli kimu nti kigwanidde okubeera ekirungi
eri obulamu bwo. Kitegeeza nti endya gy'olyamu olina okwegendereza oba egwanidde n'omubiri gwe engeri gye gwetaagamu. Obwetaavu bw'omubiri gwo olabe mu butuufu biki ebiyinza okuyamba amagumba gange, ebiyinza okuyamba okussa kwange, ebiyinza okuyamba obwongo bwange, naye ebyo abantu babitunuulidde kyekireese endwadde okubeera ennyingi.
Weebale nnyo muganda wange olubaka obwo. Abantu tebatunuulidde ku biki bye balya okusa ku muganda wange bwatunyonyodde abantu tebatunulidde ku bikibi balya tebatunde ku bikibi bakozesa okuba n'obulamu bulungi kitegeeza obulamu bufiiridde ku sowaani
obulamu bufiiridde
ku kwegomba okulya tufudde ku kulya bye twegomba okusinga ku birina amakulu gye tuli tujja kudda ate okwongera okunnyonnyoka ku biki bye tulina okulya eby'obulamu na biki bye tutalina kulya ebitali bya bulamu weewaawo ndowooza nga twongera okunnyonnyoka ku mulamwa guno simanya akadde nako ndaba tekali nnyo ku sayidi yaffe ne twagala okuba nga tusambyasambyako lwaki obulwadde bungi ennaku zino nendoza kansooka embuuza oluganda oli ku kindwara n'ennyinshi muri iyi minsi yenda wadusobanuriye aho twasoreje wadusobanuriye tubwiye ko ukurikije uko abantu barya bakarya ibintu bidakwiriye bakarya indyo ikennye nayo bakarya amasaha mabi barangiza bakayirya batariye ku rugero rukwiriye barangiza bakarya bahuje ibidahuzwa nuko wadusobanuriye ibyo byaba se iyi minsi ari byo byiganje cyane kuki uyu munsi barwaye cyane kuruta mbere kuko mu myaka ya kera byabaga bitoroshye gusanga umuntu yambaye amataratara ari umusore nkanjye muri iyi minsi n'abana b'imyaka 5 usanga bayambaye ni impamvu ki indwara zibaye nyinshi muri iyi minsi
murakoze cyane muyobozi kandi dushimira n'abaduteze amatwi kuko nta kintu kiruta ubuzima niyo mpamvu buri wese yakagombye kubiha agaciro rero uburwayi impamvu buba bukataje muri iyi minsi ndetse hari uburwayi buriho ubu butabayeho mbere
cyane
nuko muri rusange isi iri gukamwa amakuru isi irashaje urugero ruto ubu twebwe dutungwa isi yose itungwa n'ibiva mu butaka ubu butaka buri gutanga itangazo yuko butagishoboye gutunga abaturage bayituye kuko aho wahingaga mu myaka 50 ishize aho wahingaga ukaba wahasarura ibiro toni y'ibishyimbo ubu ngubu ntibyavamo kereka ushyizemo ibindi
na kimwe cya kabiri kivamo
ibyo rero twongera mu butaka tubiho isi yo yarangije kutwereka yuko itagishoboye gutunga abaturage bayiriho ibyo rero bituma abantu n'ubwenge bwacu twishakira uburyo byakomeza kudutunga isi yakomeza kudutunga amafumbire akaza inka bati kugira ngo ikamwe amata menshi dushaka uburyo ibyo byose
dushaka uburyo bw'amajyambere
bw'amajyambere bwatuma niba inka yarakamwaga litiro 5 dushaka uburyo yakamwa ijerekani litiro 50 ibyo byose bitujya mu mubiri sibyo mbega isi yo ahantu igeze indwara zo ndetse n'ibyorezo byose isi irashaje muri magufi
ukivuga kuri ako hari umuvandimwe nako se mwene data umwe nasuye ahantu ni umworozi ambwira ko afite yorora inkoko ariko bakazitangira kuzirya minsi 28 kandi ngo ibikuze ubwo byaba ari bimwe kubigaragaza ko isi ishaje se
icyo ni cyo kibigaragariza mwene muntu n'udasoma
ariko yambwiye ko hari imiti bayiha buri munsi kugira ngo icyo gihe kizagere nyine igeze ku kigihe cyo kuribwa
iyo rero mbere kera uko ibihe bihaye ibindi ibyo ntibyabagaho mbere ntago inkoko zaryaga imiti ntago ubutaka bwashakaga ibindi bibyongeramo kugira ngo bwere ntago n'uburyo duteka n'aya masafuriya ku babizi ntiyabagaho ibintu ibiri terambere nubwo hari byiza byaryo ariko ibyinshi byica ubuzima nibyo byinshi niyo mpamvu indwara ziri kwiyongera mu isi kurenza mbere
turi bugaruke tureba noneho uko twakwitwara muri iterambere ariko tugasigaza ubuzima ndumva urakoze mwene data kuba dukurikiranye muri iri terambere nubwo ari ryiza rikaba hari icyo ritumariye ariko tubonye ko harimo ibintu byinshi birimo birangiriza mwene muntu ukurikije uburyo abikoresha. Turi buze kugaruka mu kanya kuri mwendata muri rurimi dusobanura noneho adusobanurira uburyo twakwitwara mu isi maze kwangirika muri ubwo buryo ariko tugasigaza ubuzima bwacu. My brother, we have reached a certain step to understand what are the major causes. Why is the world sick? We saw the origin, we saw what caused this. Now we want my dearest viewer and my listener to understand why the rampancy. Why are they now too rampant than before?
Okay. Thank you, moderator, once again, and dear viewers. This is a question that is even in other national televisions, not only here where we are seated, but everyone is asking him or herself the same question.
Yeah.
Why? There is a much trend. It is a news of every day. When you buy newspapers, when you go to radio station, TV station, they are talking about diseases. They are coming up every day. To the extent where even the physicians, the doctors, they have even failed to get the medicine for these diseases.
Yeah.
And now it was the extent where even we have civilized diseases even, that they have never been there. There are diseases that are coming. They said that you transport the person to India, and moreover, the person is charged almost 100 plus million. These things are common. But why? But if you go back, sometimes back, however much we are not all that old, but in some maybe 100 years back, 50 years back, the way how we are eating in this generation of ours, 21st century, if you compare it to 18th century, you find that it's totally different. These components we are adding, or in the substances, or the flavors we are adding in the food we are taking, they are bringing more harm than what we expect.
Okay.
And you find that in one of the books, it's called Healthful Living, they said that these fans of the flesh, if I talk of the flesh, I mean meat. I mean the fans. Maybe the viewers may not, you may not stone me out of here, that maybe I'm telling that you live with the flesh. But
the fans.
The fans.
I worked somewhere and I had my manager, and his meal, his breakfast, he used to eat some mixture of some matoke and meat, then and intestines. Then the afternoon lunch comes, he has meat. Then in the evening, he could have fish.
You imagine. Now, first of all, maybe to take you in this normal life, even if we happen to read, we can read much. But I know, for those who are watching us, you are citizens of this world where we are.
Yeah.
And you are sure you know what is taking place there. Now, as you said, the person took maybe beef in the morning, maybe goat at lunchtime, maybe fish in the supper. Then, let's first go back. I liked that very man, Pamplona Roger. He said, if you want to be like a bull, don't eat a bull. You eat what a bull eats.
Okay.
If you want to be like a bull,
energetic like a bull,
energetic, don't eat a bull. You eat what bull eats. Because when you eat a bull, that is a byproduct.
Okay.
You are eating, you are eating a food for the second time. It means it doesn't have all those vitamins that you would get when it is still fresh. And the motto of that is, in that book, they say, when we feed on flesh, the juice of what we eat pass into the saturation. As you said, when we are chewing a meat and whatsoever, we feel that we are satisfied. But the juice of it just goes into our saturation. Where you find that our arteries and veins, for those who studied biology, find that they are clogged because of these unregulated fats that have just entered in. You find that some people, the blood can no longer push because they are said that a feverish condition is created because the animals are diseased. Sometimes back, you find that the diseases for animals are rare. The animals would not be injected the way they are like now human beings.
By the way, I remember when I was in the village some time back, I don't recall immunizing goats. But nowadays I see they are immunized. Even they have a certain periodical table when to immunize them. That on this day, on this, they will be injected.
Yes, yes.
So could that be also one of the reasons why diseases are rampant?
Exactly. As you see, these chemicals, let me call them medications, and even not only this for animals, what we call veterinary life, even this normal medicine we take. I'm apologizing. I'm not saying that you should only take them, but when you buy them, or when physicians have prescribed them, they said that there are some chemical contents. And they put expiry date for that medicine. It means what is keeping that medicine from going expire? There are these chemicals that are there. So you take, then you feel you are fine, but the chemicals remain inside. So it means there are other food that you need to detoxify.
To detoxify.
To detoxify. So to reduce the other chemicals.
The toxins.
The toxins. But to some extent, there are some whom you find that almost the medicine is their food. You feel headache, you go for injection. But in original, the way how God created us and the way how He put power in this natural thing, He put a lot of power in it, and they don't have a side effect on a human being.
Okay.
But when we take these chemicals from factories and industries, these other chemicals they put there from preventing it to be expired. Also, it remains in our body, and it adds another disease. So that's why you find that many people nowadays, I'm not old enough, as I said from the beginning, but it was rare to, like some 10 years back, to find a woman of 30 years is just eating ice cream. It was very rare. But nowadays, even you go in a taxi, you find someone of almost 40 years is just chewing an ice cream. Sorry to say, but when at first we don't know the contents of all.
But what are the ingredients of ice cream? That's an interesting. Anyway, that's another topic that we shall discuss another day. Okay, my dear viewer, my dear listener, we are soon concluding this presentation, but it's been interesting and you must have benefited. As we are looking at the sources or the causes of these diseases that have rampantly spread all over the world. And according to my presenter, he is saying that what we eat also does much of the disease. And again, the lifestyle. You say if you prefer this than the other, you prefer queuing. Is it queued or it's eaten? The ice cream.
It is.
I think they queue? Okay, whatsoever. People that like ice cream, my dear sister, people that like ice cream too much, we are yet to find the ingredients, but according to the brother, such eating that is not so natural is one of the reasons as to why people are very sick. Ndowooza mu dakiika emu katulabe katwogere ne muganda wange ono atubulire naye ensibuko y'endwadde ezifuuse nnyingi ennaku zino. Lwaki zifuuse nnyingi?
Weewaawo muganda wange nyanziramu okwebaza era n'abatulaba okubeebaza. Baganda bange waliwo ebintu bye boogedde naye nga njagala kwogerako akantu kano agamba nti kyolya ky'obeera. Ky'obeera.
Okay.
Kubanga w'olya ekintu ekyo omulala ayinza okulowooza muvumye. Kubanga waliwo omuntu kyalya mutuufu n'afaanana kyo.
Okay.
Kubanga omuntu waali mulimu osanga omuntu nga munene talina nagundi na shape. Naye nga abamu bamugamba nti mugagga. Naye nga si mugagga naye olw'okuba nti alya bubi ng'alwala ekibumba. Yalwala constipation, obukyafu bwagaana ofuluma. Naye byava ku byali ate nga byafuuse. W'olya kasasiro ne oba sorry munasonyiwa
bw'olya ebitali
olya ebitali bituufu
teralya kasasiro
oba wolya obukyafu oba
ebintu ebitali birungi
ebintu ebitali bituufu n'omubiri gwe gugenda kufuuka ogutateredde.
Okay.
So muganda wange mu kino ekitabo nga nyongera kuli olunyiriri mbadde saalumazeeyo ewali ekyandiko ekigamba I could say that I am allowed to do anything, but I am not going to let anything make me its slave. Ndi waddembe nso ogamba nti ndi waddembe okukola kyonna kye njagala naye mu butuufu tetulina kukkiriza kukola kukkiriza ebyo twagala okutufuula abaddu
ebyo twagala
okutufuula abaddu
kutukkiriza kutufuula abaddu
okutufuula abaddu bwe kyekiriwa we weetegereza omuntu singa aba akedde ku makya n'alya nnyo oba n'anywa nnyo ebintu ebirina sukaali omungi agenda fuga ekiseera sukaali wa yambuke waggulu alwale diabetes n'alya biskwiti n'alya kwegamba amata n'agagattamu sukaali ebintu ebireeta fats ne bireeta glucose mungi mubiri ne bireetera sugar okwambuka waggulu n'afuna diabetes oba gye tuyinza okuyita ayinza okufuna diabetes ekika ekibayita B kwegamba diabetes ng'ali waggulu ate nga diabetes okumujjanjaba oba sukaali ng'ali waggulu naye ng'oyo sukaali okumujjanjaba agenda kumulonyako ssente nnyingi atuuke n'okulinnya ennyonyi agende mu America agende Dubai munanga akome wano naye nga bikyagamba
agende India bagende bamulongoose bamutereeze
ogenda okwekanga ng'akozeseza ssente nnyingi izi endwadde zaafukaza n'az'abagagga kati sawa naye munnanga mpuliriza kimanye nti kyolya
kyoba omulabi omulungi ampuliriza sooka otunne byolya byolya bye bikufudde kyoli bye bikufuula kyoli omulabi omulungi era oteekeddwa okwekennenya bw'ogenda mu katale sooka otunne biki bye ngenda okugula kubanga ebyo byolya bye bikulwaza oba ne bikuwonya. Waliwo omuntu omu namukyaza wano n'ansomera olunyiriri olugamba nti Katonda yatuwa ebyokulya bibeera eddagala ebyokulya bibeera eddagala alina olunyiriri olwo yalusoma yalutusomera kaka tugenda kubanga ate tugende wa muganda waffe oli mwendata twihutira gusooza aho twasoreje twashoje utwereka ingingo nyinshi zitumye indwara ziba nyinshi aho watubwiye ko ibyo dukoresha uburyo isi ishaje nayiterwa inshinge kugira ngo ibiramambu igire uko nyine yatugaburira dushaka kumenya uburyo twakwitwara muri aya majyambere kuko ubu ngubu turi imbere y'ibi byuma kugira ngo bene data baturebe nayo ni amajyambere none nta kuntu twabaho tutabaye amajyambere kuko dufitiye byinshi dushaka mu ncamake uburyo umuturage cyangwa se umuntu yakwitwara mu majyambere ariko akanasiga ari muzima.
Urakoze cyane mu by'ukuri turi mu gihe kigoye ariko Imana nayo yari izi ko tuzakibamo ndetse itwereka n'uburyo tugomba kwitwara muri iki gihe ku buryo twagira ubuzima bwiza. Bwa mbere nk'uko twabibonye uburyo bwa mbere uburyo twabona ubuzima bwiza ni ukugira ubwenge. Ubwo ndagisobanura buriya ubwenge n'ubumenyi birizwi ko butandukanye ariko kugira ubwenge bwa mbere ubwenge buturuka ku Mana. Iyo wubashye Imana byanditse mu gitabo cy'imigani igice cyaho cya mbere uhereye ku murongo wa mbere gukomeza bisaba mbega ufite umuntu wese washaka kugira ngo agire ubuzima bwiza ni ukubaha Imana kuko ni naho kugira ngo tububure cyangwa se turware byatewe no kutayubaha. Iyo ni ingingo ya mbere y'ingenzi.
Umuti wa mbere ni ukubaha tugasubira nk'uko Imana yari yaremye umuntu ayubaha atari yarwara.
Ikindi iyo mu gitabo cy'imigani reka tuhasome ni igice cya 3 umurongo wa 7 handitse ijambo rikomeye haranditse ngo
Mm.
imigani 3:7 ntiwishime ubwenge bwawe ujye wubaha Uwiteka kandi uve mu byaha
Mm.
bizatera umubiri wawe kuba mutaraga
Eh?
ukagira imisokoro mu magufa yawe. Ntiwishime ubwenge bwawe bya bindi urabona isi aho tugeze ujya kubona ugasanga umuntu ani dogiteri
Mm.
asobanukiwe neza ibitera indwara
Mm.
ariko ugasanga nibyo akunda, ugasanga ari mu kabari anywa inzoga kuva mu gitondo kugeza isaha yose ari mu kabari anywa inzoga azi ububi bwazo, ugasanga ari kunywa itabi ubwo afite ubumenyi ariko ubwenge bwo ntabwo. Bishatse kuvuga ngo hano baravuze ngo Bibiliya iravuze ngo ntiwishime ubwenge bwawe ahubwo wubaha Uwiteka. Ubwo kubaha Uwiteka Imana izavuga ngo rero kuko wagize ubwenge izakwereka uko uzarya ibyiza. Nubwo isi yangiritse harimo uburyo Imana yateganije uburyo ugomba kurya muri iki gihe kandi nturware bitewe nuko hari ibikiri bizima,
hari ibigifitemo agahenge.
ni ukuvuga ngo iyo ushaka ubuzima urya ibizima. Sinzi niba ukumvise.
Iyo
ushaka kugira ubuzima
urya ibizima,
urya ibintu bigifite ubuzima.
ndakumvise.
ubwo turi muri iki gihe kigoye ahubwo ni ukubaririza ibizima byo birihe.
turi bugaruke mu ncamake twihutira ku musozo. ndabona n'igihe nacyo kiri kwiruka cyane, aho turi bugaruke dusoza tureba bimwe muri ibyo bizima umuntu yakoresha kugira ngo asigasire ubuzima cyangwa se agume ari muzima. Reba ko n'ibitaro byo muri iyi minsi nabyo bihenze ukuntu. My brother, we are soon concluding, but before conclude, we want to see how can a man live in this destroyed life, but at least without diseases. Even though we have many causes of diseases and almost everyone is sick, but what are the ways someone can at least try to live with either less of you or no disease at all, if it is possible?
Okay, thank you, our moderator. It is possible, but within our bodies, due to the inherited tendencies, if I can call it like that, we have inherited tendencies we got from our forefathers and
the glands.
yes, glands. We are products of them. To some extent, where you find that they are like this kind of disease that are almost like transferable. You had a disease and you find that your offspring or your children are having it. It is possible and it is happening.
Like allergies,
like sickle cell and other diseases. But still, after knowing God and practicing what He requires you from doing, then there is a sure way that even if the other diseases is adequately transferable, then there is 99 chances of extending the lifespan.
Okay.
And I would like even to assure the viewers and listeners at the same time that even these deadly diseases, call it cancer. Now cancer is more dangerous than even AIDS.
Cancer is more dangerous. It kills more than HIV.
And we assure you that before even it reaches on the level 4, and it is still in its infant stages, and you follow this prescription clearly. They just tell you, because our brother or the brothers have been submitting and said that if we want to be normal living, we have to eat the things that are normal. I don't know whether I can bring it in a correct way. But Bible is clear. It's telling us that in there's where you were asking. They say that some people say, what does the Bible talk about these things? Bible is very clear. in Genesis, that's why I mentioned it's chapter 1, I think verse 28, where I've just created this and this to be food, your food. The verse I wanted to read is in Ezekiel, chapters 47, verses 12. If I read this verse, I think to have partially, if not fully, answers your question. Chapters 47, verses
47
12.
Ezekiel.
Chapter is 47,
verses 12.
And by the river upon the bank thereof, on this side and on that side, shall grow all trees for meat. This is King James Version. All trees for meat.
For meat. My dearest listener, my viewer, when King James Version say meat, it means food.
Exactly. Because we don't get meat from trees.
We don't get meat from trees, okay?
Whose leaf shall not fade, neither shall the fruits thereof be consumed. It shall bring forth new fruits according to his month, because their waters they issued out of the sanctuary. And the fruit therefore shall be for meat, and the leaf therefore for medicine. Fruits for meat, then leaves for medicine. Here, God is not stupid enough not mentioning that you have to eat fresh. But he said that out of, they have mentioned the rivers here, but these are the trees we always see around us. Said that when they talk of the fruits, we have avocados, we have jackfruits, and whatsoever. So that is our meat, and their leaves can help us to cure diseases.
Okay. Thank you very much, my dear, my guest. Thank you for your presentation. It's quite important, my viewer, that you've understood that these diseases can be cured first by adhering to God's principles.
Exactly.
Secondly, by using natural things. So when you go to the market, look for those natural things. When you plan of eating, look at those natural things. With those natural things, we are assured that we shall have normal life. Thank you very much. It's a blessing. We are really humbled. I will ask one thing. One thing at least. Let one tell us one thing that can be used that is natural. Umuntu umwe turihutira gusoza amasaha yo arihuse cyane, ntabwo atwemereye ko twakomeza nubwo ikiganiro cya kiryoshye. Tuzagaruka ikindi gihe. Abadukurikiranye turashaka kubamenyesha ko ibiganiro bikomeza kubaho kandi buri munsi wa gatandatu cyangwa se uwa nyuma, abandi bawita Friday, sinzi uko mu Nyarwanda bawita, ariko uwo munsi nk'uyu ni umunsi tuba dufite ibiganiro nk'ibi. Mujye mukunda kubikurikirana kandi mujye mutanga ibitekerezo mubaze. Twihutira ku musozo, dushaka watwijeje ko ratubwira bimwe ku bintu bizima umuntu yakoresha yihuse cyane, mu bintu bizima umuntu yakoresha kugira ngo asigasire ubuzima nabwo buducika buca mu myanya y'intoki, ko reba ko indwara nazo zamaze kuba nyinshi.
Urakoze cyane.
Mu munota umwe twihutira ku musozo.
Tutaragera ku bijyanye n'ibyo by'ubuzima, cyangwa se ibifite ubuzima, bwa mbere twasanze isi yose irwaye. Rero kwirinda ni ingingo ikomeye.
Kwirinda
kuko isi yose irwaye, abarwaye tukivuza. Mu gitabo cya Zaburi y'103 uhereye ku murongo wa mbere kugeza ku wa 3, Imana yo mu ijuru ishoboye byose itabeshya ivuga yuko indwara zose ifite ubushobozi bwo kuzivura.
Indwara zifite ubushobozi
ziri ku isi. Reka turisome kugira ngo abantu nubwo indwara ziri mu isi tukaba tugiye mu gihe cya nyuma zikaba ari nyinshi, ariko hari n'umuti.
Hari umuti.
Tutajyenda tuvuga ngo Imana ifite umuti kuko ishoboye byose. Turabisoma, niturangiza tubone twakavuga ibintu byadufasha, ariko ingingo ya mbere y'ingenzi ari icyizere cy'uko Imana izatuvura izo turwaye. Zaburi 103 umurongo turasoma uhereye ku murongo wa mbere, ndetse ivura indwara zose ikoresheje ububasha bwayo. Haranditse ngo umutima wanjye himbaza Uwiteka, mwa bindimo byose mwe muhimbaza izina rye ryera. Umutima wanjye himbaza Uwiteka, ntiwibagirwe ibyiza yakugiriye byose. Umurongo wa 3, ni ubabarira ibyo wakiraniwe byose, agakiza indwara zawe zose. Indwara zose zo ku isi izananiye abaganga bicara bize byinshi ku buzima, bakavuga bati iyi ntikira, Imana ifite umuti. Icyo ni icyizere, sibyo?
Imana ifite umuti.
Imana ifite umuti w'indwara zose, ikoresheje ubushobozi bwayo, ikoresheje ibyaremwe, ikoresheje abantu bayo. Wowe upfa kugira kwizera, Imana ifite ubushobozi bwo kuvura indwara ziriho ku isi zose.
Ubwo umuti w'ibanze nuko tugira kwizera. Umuntu akizera Imana, agakora ibyo Imana ishaka, yarangiza agakoresha umuti, akajya kwa muganga, akamenya ibimukiza, akarya ibizima, yamara kurya ibizima agakoresha umuti, yizeye ko Imana ibuze kumukiza. I think, my brother, we are concluding. Your conclusive remark on this. Let's have your conclusive remark in one minute.
Okay. Thank you for moderator for hosting us and to have come to the conclusion of our discussion tonight. My conclusion in 1 minute, as you said, I am not going to exceed that minute you've given me. It is in the book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 10, verse 31. Whether therefore you eat or drink, do whatsoever you do to glorify God. Wherever you eat or drink, you see whether you are glorifying God or whether God can be glorified in your eating and drinking.
Okay, thank you, my dearest viewer, for keeping yourselves watching us. We are so much humbled. It's a pleasure taking this time watching us. We're thankful. My brother has concluded with a remark that whether you eat or drink, do all in the glory of God. And with that, you are assured of good health if you glorify Him. Mugano wange tuwumba akadde tekatukiriza okubeera mikwano gwaffe, akadde tekatera kutukkiriza ebiseera byonna katutema. Twandyagadde tugende mu maaso, naye olw'embeera y'obudde ate nga tulina okuzaako enteekateeka endala n'okukola ebirala, katukkirize tuwumbewumbe. Tujja kudda omulundi omulala ate oba oli awo tandikire wano. Twagala obubaka bw'obusembayo.
Muganda wange weebale era nsiimye okubanga ndi wamu naawe essaawa zino. Nga mpumba nga maliriza n'olunyiri lwaffe oluli mu Bakolinso ekisooka. Wenyini wensimbye essira. Olunyiriri olusemberayo ddala.
Mu ssuula ki?
Bakolinso ekisooka chapter 6 oba olunyiriri olw'omukaaga.
Essuula eba ssuula.
Onyiri ole-15. Bagamba bati mumanyi nti emibiri gyammwe kitundu ku mubiri gwa Kristo. Neera n'olwekyo ne Yesu Kristo shall I take a part of Christ's body.
Ogambye ekitabo eky'Abakolinso essuula Abakolinso ekisooka essuula ey'omukaaga. Abakolinso ekisooka
okusomayo mu kwanguwa nga tuwumba.
Abakolinso omukaaga essuula olunyiriri lwe 15. Awanise n'agamba nti mumanyi ng'emibiri gyammwe bye bitundu bya Kristo. Kale nzirirenga ebitundu bya Kristo mbifuule ebitundu eby'obwenzi kitalo. Komaawo. Mu 16 lukomaawo.
So n'olwekyo kye mbadde njagadde okwogera bati ke katundu akasooka temumanyi nti emibiri gyammwe mibiri gya Kristo. Kitegeeza kyonna ky'olya manya nti n'omwoyo guyinako obuvune oba kiguganyulwamu oba teguganyulwamu. Kitegeeza oba olidde mu ngeri enkyamu n'omwoyo nagwo gufiirwa
mubiri gwange gwa Kristo
omubiri gwa
webale nnyo muganda wange okutuwa akadde nojja ntwogerako n'abantu abatuwuliriza abatugoberera waliwo abatuwuliriza ku radio waliwo n'abatugoberera ku mukutu gwaffe nga bali live mwenna twongera okwebaza olwakadde kemutwadde okuva twatandikidde mpaka ku ssaawa eno tutuuse nga tuwumbawumba kyetutegeddeko nti omubiri gwaffe ye yeekaalu ya Kristo n'olwekyo olw'okuba ye yeekaalu ya Kristo twongera okubategeeza nti tuyina okuba nga tugikuuma mu bulungi ne mu bwesimbu katwanguwe okuba nga tukomekkereza nga tuwumbawumba kubanga akadde ko katuweddeko tubeebaza nnyo wabula ababadde nga kwe muli tubasaba ebibuuzo byonna ebifunye mu biteeke mu comment section tujja kuba nga tubyanukula nammwe abagenda okulaba vidiyo eno oluvannyuma tubasaba nammwe mugende mu comment section ebibuuzo munaafuna mu biteekemu tujja kubyanukula nga tuzzeemu okudda wano oba bwe tunaabiraba tujja kuba nga tubyanukula Mukama Katonda abawa omukisa abawa ebyo bye musinga okuyaayaanira katukomekkereze n'essaala okuva muganda waffe Vivian.
It is our privilege to kneel before you, our Father who is in heaven, thanking you for giving us this chance to talk what you have talked before you and before the people you created, yet to be glorified.
Amen.
We've discussed much from where we began from up to this time that we have come to the conclusion of our discussion. And in studio, we are all health, yet to be glorified. In a special way, we ask your blessing to come to each and every one who has been following us and who will follow us later, so that all of us, if you give us the preparation to meet you at your second coming, we shall glorify your name. We have discussed much, but we are unable to put them into practice the way you want. That's why we call upon you to be with us, to guide us, so that we, at the end of this journey, we find that we fit to be in heaven. Be with us for the rest of the time we have before us, and be with each and everyone who is going to depart from here. This is our humble prayer. In Jesus' name we prayed.
Amen.
Walimu simuno mulongofu kubanga fenna twayonona wabula Kristo eyatulongosa n'omusaayi gwe omulokozi mumusaayi munabe ogunaza mwe buli kibi mwetemuli tukola wataliye munabe mu musaayi gwa Yesu omusaayi gwa Yesu gubanaza nnyo abagwagwa ab'omu mwoyo